Welcome people, Mother Main Homesteader here. Today is Sunday, July 26th, 2020, and it is actually turned out to be a beautiful day right now here in northern Maine. This morning when I came out here to do what I gotta do, it was actually raining, and it was a perfect day to get inside the greenhouse and work on the pruning and organizing and staking and supporting all the plants inside the greenhouse because they desperately needed some care. My video that I had done the other day that I uploaded, I showed you my haul that I got from Martin's for all the supplies that I actually used today in the greenhouse. And although I didn't take a before and after shot or video of what the plants looked like before I got started this morning, I do have actually some pictures that I'll figure out how to implement within the video. Okay, so I'll get some help with that from my daughter because I'm not really too fluent with that stuff. Anyways, let's go inside the greenhouse and see how everything turned out, shall we? Now, I just want you to take note that I've been working in this greenhouse since 8 o'clock this morning. And I just got finished maybe about 20 or 30 minutes ago, and it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So these are the tomatoes after, okay? You should have seen this overgrown batch of tomatoes before I came in here. Oh my gosh. Just looking at the view of them right now, it's total night and day. You wouldn't even recognize this. These don't even look like the same plants. The pepper plants, I didn't even realize how big they had gotten because they were being hovered by all the overgrowth from the tomato plants. Now they are all like in their own situation going on. I used the 2-foot bamboo stakes on the pepper plants, and then you can see just by knowing that these stakes are 2 feet, you see how tall they are. I mean, they're not too far deep into the soil because, you know, the pepper plants are not really top heavy or anything right now, so I didn't have to stick them too far in, probably about, I don't know, maybe 4 inches in. So they are all propped up and doing their own thing now. You can see them from 1, 2, 3, 4 pepper plants doing great now. They're going to be doing a lot better. So check out these tomato plants, guys. Like I said, these were so overgrown. This whole area right here, this whole area was just like hovered over this space right here. This wasn't even visible. I mean, this was all covered with tomato growth. And I did so much pruning on these plants that I just wanted some leaves on the top. I aired out all the bottom area, just took all the leaves off of the bottom and just left you know, the fruit there. I mean, I did have some casualties from the pruning process, but that's okay because, you know, I'm still going to get tons of fruit. As you can see, the flowering, there's still flowers up in there, and we got some nice beefsteak tomatoes growing right there, and there's another one somewhere around right there. And I didn't even know that there was this many beefsteak tomatoes growing in here because there was, like I said, it was all hidden with all this overgrowth. So I'm giving myself some props today because I think I did a damn good job in here, and I ended up using all 12 of the 6-foot bamboo stakes inside this one bed. I didn't even have enough to use for the cucumbers or the zucchini. Not that I really needed it for them, but I was, in case I needed one, I was, you know, that's what I was counting on, to have one left over. But I used all 12 of them on the tomato plants, plus I didn't even have enough to do everything, so I had to go rummage around the homestead, and I found a nice tall metal bar right here. Looked like it was for a some kind of old swing awning or something, so I used that over there. And I even tried to put 2 tomato plants on a bamboo on a bamboo stake. As you can see right over here, I didn't have any more bamboo stakes to use over here, so I just used this this metal rod right here and tied the 2 plants together and used this one rod for support for the 2 plants. But now you can see that all the tomato plants have their own stations now. They're all pretty much been manicured, so you can see each individual plant, and you can see all the fruit growing inside there. You can access it easily now. I can do the pruning a lot easier now because I can see in between the plants. I wasn't able to see anything before. I actually had to use my little wooden stool right there to get up and do the pruning up there, and to tie up the plants as well. See that little it looks like a trellis, but it's actually not a trellis. I found that in the back of the storage shed, just hanging out over there, and I remembered that I put that away from our old gazebo that we had. I specifically wanted to keep it because it looked like a trellis, and I figured that I could use it someday for a trellis, and that's exactly what I did. The only thing I had to do is to take my metal saw and chop off the top, because there was like a bracket that went on top up there, and it was not enabling me to get it into the garden bed, so I had to chop that off so it didn't hit the roof, and I also had to chop it off on the bottom there. You can see it on the bottom. I had to chop that off and make legs so it can actually stick inside the soil. But that little trellis, makeshift trellis right there, is housing or propping up two cherry tomato plants on the back over there where it's really, really overgrown. I mean, these plants were so overgrown that some of the top pieces were just like permanently bent over because they were growing over the boxes and on this bar right here. That bar right there, part of the greenhouse frame, they were growing on top of that. So this is the beefsteak tomatoes. We have 1, 2, 3 beefsteak tomato plants right here, plus there's more tomato plants on the porch as well. 2 of them are beefsteak and the others are cherry tomatoes. And these plants all right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these plants right here are all cherry tomato plants, and there is so much growth on these cherry tomato plants. And again, I didn't even know that there was so much going on in here because they were all overgrown and just like hidden. I mean, everything was just hidden. And now that we have all this area freed up, it's going to get so much good airflow. And like you can see, I had some casualties of war, but that's all right because there's so much growth going on. Like you can see over there's growing, and over here. I mean, it's just scattered around. All the plants are just scattered around growing some fruits. And that's what I like to see. I also did fertilize them a few days back, and I'll show you what I use for the fertilizer on all my plants. But look how tall they are. I mean, these are 6-foot garden stakes, right? And this the roof of the greenhouse is, 12 feet in here, 12 feet high in here, and they are already just barely touching the top of the greenhouse over here. And so I had to snip the tops of some of the plants because I didn't want them to go too far up there. I only snipped the ones that didn't have any fruits growing, and I just left the others alone, and we'll just keep an eye on them and make sure that they don't they don't get carried away up there. But as you can see, I still kept using these marker stakes right there. I ended up using the 4 of them. I put 1 back. I didn't need that. And yeah, and I also used the jute twine. I took off the rest of the bread twisty ties right here, and I actually lost a whole freaking stalk from the beefsteak tomato plant because it dug right in. You can see it was starting to dig in over here, and it dug so far into that other stalk that it just it was not viable. It was just dead. See, I'm just taking these ones off over here because I just found them. I must have missed these ones, so I'll take these off. See how it was just starting to dig in right there? I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, I probably missed these, but I'll take these off right now. And like you can see, the bigger that these tomatoes get, the thicker in diameter their stalks get, and if you keep things that's tightly bound on there, like these twisty ties, they're gonna dig right into it and end up causing my dogs are barking at the chickens. They're all bark and no bite when it comes to those chickens. Okay, so we got those off right there. I can't believe I missed that actually. Oh, and I see 2 more I missed over there. So let's get those off as well. Why not? While you're here with me, right? Get these off. So that means I'm going to have to put some jute twine on this, because if I don't, they're not going to be supported. Poor little things again. Oh man, I felt so bad when I took this off, these twisty ties off that one tomato stalk, man. I felt like, oh, poor thing. I mean, I don't know, anything that's living, you feel bad for, right? So I gotta remember to prop that back up with jute twine. Just give it a good look, see if I'm missing any more anywhere. I don't see any, so I guess that's good. So, good thing I did this video, because I would have missed those out, and they would have got wedged into the stalks, and they would have died like the other one did. Anyways, okay, so we got those off. All right, so I used jute twine on to tie the tomatoes to the bamboo stakes, as you can see. Now, when I first started doing, I did the second attempt after I looked everything over and everything was all trimmed up. I just looked everything over and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to do something different, because this right here, this stalk right here, I had tied to this right over here, and I was like, that's not gonna work out, because you know, the bigger it gets, the more it's just gonna flop over and grow. So I just ended up tying it to the stake right there, and that one wasn't being used. I must have just stuck it in there and forgot to use it. But yeah, so I tied that up, and now it's going to get some real good airflow, because it does get real hot and humid inside this greenhouse. And if you don't got no good airflow going through these plants, I mean, they're going to really suffocate. I mean, just think if you're out here in a humid environment and there's no real good, you know, circulation going through here, because in the past couple weeks there hasn't been any kind of breeze at all through, you know, through me, well, my area anyway. And when there's no breeze, and I have this door open, unzipped, with the little flap back there open, all day, every day, with the fence right around it, just so it can get some air going through here. But what good is the air going through if it's all condensed and congested down up in here, and you know, you don't got no good circulation coming through there to help give oxygen to these plants. Okay, so we got all these tomato plants all situated, so they ended up coming out fabulous. I love the way it came out. Again, I'm going to give myself props for the job that I did, because, you know, I think I did a damn good job here. And it was a long day to do everything I did just in this one garden. Just in this one box alone took me a few hours. I mean, wow. And just, you know, I still can't get over these pepper plants. I didn't even know they were still, like, I knew they were alive, but I didn't realize how big they were until they were all uncovered from the, you know, the overgrowth of the tomatoes. Okay, next up, lots and lots of pruning on this one particular zucchini plant right here. It had powdery mildew forming on the leaves, so I had to cut off a lot of the growth that was on this one plant, but I ended up treating it a little while ago with a solution. It's an organic spray that you just spray all over your plants to prevent that from happening. So I trimmed off all the powdery mildew branches, and I inspected all the other ones, and none of them have it. And I also cleared up some of the overgrowth back there too, because there was no circulation. There was so much overgrowth over here as well. There was no oxygen or no good airflow coming through to prevent my zucchini from getting blossom rotted. And I lost a few zucchini when I was doing all the trimming in here. A lot of them were just rotted out. And I just picked them up and just threw them out, and just freed up a lot of this space over here, so a lot of air gets in there. If there's no air, you're going to get, you know, it's a fruit growing, and the fruit that's growing is relatively low to the soil, and without any good airflow, it's going to rot out, you know. So that's what I did. I cleared out some of this area, and you know, let the breeze come through here, keep everything dry unless it's being watered, and you know, get some good growth going. But I do got zucchinis growing. Hopefully, you know, they all make it. Like I said, I did have some casualties of war, but that's all right, because they'll continue to produce fruit, and that's the zucchini. Now the cucumbers got a good trimming as well. They got a nice haircut. They had a ton of just overgrowth as well with these big huge fan leaves over here, and I just trimmed a lot of it out there and exposed all the area in there. So see all the blossoms that I got? These are marketmore cucumbers. These are a slicer cucumber, and you can see some of them are already starting to take form and shape and turn green and everything, but I needed to situate this whole area because the hair was long in the hair and it needed a good trimming. So it got a nice good trimming. I actually added this fence right here in the back over here I don't know, close to a month ago, because I learned my lesson from last year when I grew some cucumbers. They were just all overgrown, like just flopping over the garden bed, and it was just really hard to pick out the cucumbers and even locate them where they were, and it ended up being a lot of rotted fruit. So to help prevent that this year, I'm trying to keep them all propped up and you know, caged up, and have them train them on this fence right here that acts like a trellis. I actually wedged some of these. This one right here, I wedged that in there today because it was flopped over on the side. And this one on the back right here, I actually trained that to go in there as well, so that doesn't you know, grow into the other plants and tie to the other plants and stuff. But now the cucumbers got nice good airflow. The zucchini got nice good airflow. They've all been trimmed, got their nice good haircuts going on. And eventually I'm going to have to do something about this over here, because this will just get real top heavy and just start sagging. So I'll have to find something to put over here on the end, probably another piece of a fence to put over here on the corner over here, just so it can grow up, because I can't keep stretching these vines to go on the back and, you know, letting them wrap around each other. So I'm probably going to end up having to get another piece of a fence like I have over there, that mesh fence right there, and just prop it up over here right on the circular edge over there, so it can just vine up without having any issues. And I just got to keep up with the maintenance on these cucumber plants. I got to keep them trimmed up and manicured, just so they don't have any more overgrowth and all their blossoms are exposed, and they can just, you know, grow more effectively now. It'll produce more fruit and grow better now that you got a lot of the overgrowth off there, and a lot of the energy is not going to go towards all the stuff that didn't really matter. We want the energy to get carried to the fruits and not just the big huge leaves. Okay, so proceeding on over here, these are the Brussels sprouts. They also got a good haircut. They got a good pruning. Like I said, I didn't have any more stakes to use, so I ended up just using these stakes that's for, you know, fencing stakes, and it's whatever, man, it's doing the job. So I'll just continue to use it until I get more of those bamboo stakes. But these three Brussels sprout plants are doing really good. You can see the Brussels sprouts they're already forming over there in the cracks and the creases over there, as you can see. And on this one's taking a little bit longer because it's the smaller of the three plants, but it'll get there. Confident it will get there. And you know, they got a good pruning too, and they're doing good. And I did not discard the leaves from the Brussels sprouts, because I'm actually going to cook those up for dinner tonight. Just going to saute them in a pan with a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, just as you would with a kale or collard greens or whatever. It works the same way. Now these plants, this is my basil. I actually just treated these with some of that pesticide stuff. I'll show you it in a minute, but I found a green worm on these, and I was wondering who was eating and making these holes on my beautiful basil. But I'm gonna have to go in and take my little smaller pruning shears and trim all these damaged leaves off, and bring them back to a little bit of more vitality over here, because they're looking a little stressed, I guess you could say. And the parsley is doing good over here too. Look at that parsley. It's doing really good. And the spinach is right back there. They're not doing great. Like I said, they are not heat tolerant plants. They're supposed to be planted in you know, the fall months and be ready to harvest in the winter. But we'll get more of spinach going on in there later on in the season. So over here we have the broccoli. They also got a good trimming. Not so much. I mean, I didn't take too much off the broccoli plants, but they did get some trimming to create some airflow on the bottom over here. We definitely don't want our broccoli rotting out on us. Definitely don't want that, because broccoli is one of those superfoods that you just don't want to waste. But yet you can see the crowns are already forming on the broccoli, and I also treated these as well with that pesticide spray. I'll actually show it to you in a minute. Yeah, these are all doing good. You can see all the crowns are forming, and the leaves that I pruned off the broccoli as well, I'm saving. And I actually have them, I steeped them in cold water with the Brussels sprout leaves, and those are also going to be used for supper today, cooked the same way. So we got the broccoli all situated, we got the Brussels sprouts all situated, the basil is all situated over there, and you can see this big empty area. This was the romaine lettuce. It's all been harvested. I took it all out, and the last of it I actually took out today, and I separated them all and soaked them in water, cold water, and they're now being stored in the refrigerator. So these green onions over here, a few of them are already ready to be harvested. Like this one right here is ready to be harvested. This big guy right here, this one over here, this one. There's probably maybe 4 or 5 green onions that need to be harvested. So I'll probably do that later on today. Just pick these pieces of grass out of here. You know what else I found in this garden bed that I did not like was those mushrooms. There was mushrooms growing in here. Not the good kind either. But I picked some of those out. And this is the parsley. It's doing really good. Curly parsley. Looks really good. And more basil over here, and we got the sage over here. Unfortunately, guys, I never ended up getting my thyme. I mean, not the thyme, I only ended up getting sage and rosemary. I didn't get up it's still growing. I mean, I don't know what's going on with it, but it's not doing anything. It's not getting any bigger or anything. If you have any idea what to do, just let me know in a comment below, and give me some pointers, because I don't know what the hell's going on with that. So all I got right now is just sage, basil, and parsley for herbs, and of course my green onion, my chives, and my lemongrass. I'll show you that in a minute. So anyways, this is the fertilizer that I'm currently using on all the vegetables in the garden. It's a Vermibloom Vermicrop Organics. It's an organic fertilizer, and it's for fruit and flower fertilizer. You can use it either when you can use it for when it's if you're growing fruit or flowers, either or. But it's just for when they are producing flowers or fruit. You know what I mean? It's not when they're in their vegetative state. So you can just use them on vegetables, fruits, flowers, planted pots, trees, shrubs, annuals, and perennials. This is what you want to use when you're going to fertilize your. Because what the instructions are over here, I actually fertilize everything in the garden every 2 weeks, 3 weeks max. And before they were fruiting, I used this mixture right here. It's the Vermiveg Vegetative Stage Fertilizer, and again, it's from the same company. This was about almost $29–30, and so was the other one. They're both similar in price. I got these from a hydroponic store that's over here in town, and I just wanted some really good stuff to, and I've had these for a couple of years, so that's what I use in my garden. Now, let's see over here, but I got the worm casings over there. I sprinkled those on there earlier, maybe a month or two ago, but I'm trying to figure out what I did with my, oh, look at, this is what I was talking about. See how it just got rotted? Poor thing. I was actually going to save this and just try and use the edible, like the salvageable piece, but it doesn't look like anything salvageable because I'm pressing on it. It's all pretty much soft, so I'll just throw that in the composter. But this little one right here, I'm probably trying to do something with this one, right? Why waste a piece of fruit? Anyways, let's go check it out, see if I left it out here where the hose is, because I did treat those plants because I found that green worm. Yeah, so it's right here. So this is what I put on all the plants just a little while ago before starting this video. But it's for organic gardening, and it's Garden Safe Fungicide 3. Excuse me, bug went in my mouth. Okay. Fungicide 3 garden products in one. It's a fungicide, insecticide, and miticide. So it kills fungus, insects, and mites. The fungus is great because I actually use it because of the powdery mildew. And as you can see here, what it says right there is it controls black spot rust and powdery mildew, which the zucchini plants did have. And for the insects, it controls aphids, whiteflies, and other insect pests, which is, I looked on the back and I forgot what the name of that green worm thing was, but when I figure out and put it in the description below. But I'll also provide a link for this product as well as these two products right here. You can probably find these in your garden shops or whatever. Probably not like a Lowe's or anything. I don't think they would carry this stuff right here. I think you're gonna have to go to like a hydroponic store or something like that, where you want to do like organic gardening, or I don't know, I just don't want to say it, but marijuana gardening would carry this type of product as well. So this is what I sprayed inside the greenhouse a little while ago, and I sprayed it on all the plants, my tomatoes, my Brussels sprouts, broccoli, everything. I sprayed it on everything. That green worm, I actually found it on my basil of all things. Never found insects like that before on basil before, but that's where I found it. And so this is what I sprayed on them today. I actually used this spray on my apple tree and my prune trees, my plum trees, I mean, because I found some those little webbing caterpillar things on my trees, and that pretty much did the job. I did that a couple days ago. Oh, update on my chickens. I no longer have 4 Rhode Island red chickens. Somebody actually ran over one of my Rhode Island red chickens like a douchebag, and just hit the chicken. The neck was mangled and everything. People speed on this road all the time, and my chickens like to go across the street. You know, it's a country setting over here. I mean, this is not a main road by any means. And I just got douchebags that like to go speeding on the road over here and ended up killing one of my chickens. They didn't even have the common courtesy to come knock on my door or anything like that. You know, they just take the chicken, throw it on the side of the road, and that's it. They're on their way. When that happened, man, I got dressed. I put my shoes on. I drove to the house where I thought that the person did it, and I was ready to freaking raise hell. But yeah, so whoever you douchebags are that ran over my fucking chicken, yeah, good job. You're a fucking man. Anyways, sorry about that, guys. Anyways, I just had to get that off my chest because I had those chickens for like, this is the 3rd year that I had those Rhode Island Reds, and those were the only birds that lasted that one winter where all the other Rhode Island Reds died. Those 4 Rhode Island Reds are the only ones that survived, you know, so they had some good quality gene pool they had right there, you know, in order to be the only surviving freaking chickens out of 20 of them, and some asshole had to fucking run it over, a real douchebag. Anyways, there's those chickens over there. So now we're down to 3 Rhode Island Reds, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that I got like 5 or 6 Orpingtons as roosters. Man, I'm gonna let them get a little bit bigger and just use them as meat birds. Keep 2 of them, and just let the others just be there, you know, protect the hens. Anyways, I'm just doing a real quick roundabout over here so you can come see the outdoor garden. Another thing too, we didn't end up getting any plums at all this year. I guess it's on some kind of rotation, so next year we'll probably have a ton of fruit. So we'll keep an eye out on that. I mean, there was a couple pieces of fruit, but yeah, it's just nothing. There's just nothing on there. Anyways, here's the cabbage. Looks like that cabbage is almost ready to be harvested right there. I'll probably harvest that maybe tomorrow or the next day. But they got 4 of the cabbage plants over here. This one's lagging a little bit, but that's all right. This one's forming a nice head. That's a really nice head over there, and that one's forming a head as well. And then we got the corn going on. We'll probably harvest that in October sometime. Another corn over here, and 4 more corn right over here. So these are doing good as well. We got much needed rain today. Like I said, it was raining, and got some much needed rain. Nice solid head. Nice. Okay. And then we got the kale over here. I have to replace my rake hoe so I can get in here and get all this grass out of here, man. Like, what the hell? So yeah, I got the kale. I just actually picked more kale leaves like maybe 3 or 4 days ago to make kale chips. And I gotta do a recipe, a video on my kale chips, because those are freaking amazing. They're so good and so easy to do. So yeah, so here's the purple kale. They're still growing. I mean, they've been growing in here since what? April, and they're still freaking going, man. Still giving me freaking food. And over here, we got the blueberries. We already actually harvested some blueberries, and we can harvest a couple more, but not right now because they're not quite ready. And every now and then I come in here and pick these damn ferns. I don't know how the hell to getting through the freaking cloth that I put down. Yeah, the kiwi plant's still doing nothing. What a big disappointment those things are. And still, guys, no more. I still don't have any of the freaking lavender. None of it ever came up, man. You believe that shit? None of it ever came up, and I paid good money for that too. Anyways, here's the asparagus. They're still freaking turning into ferns. Okay, actually, my husband was telling me that there was some to pick in here, and I just didn't even bother coming out here to pick them. I just, let them grow. But there's that, and still no tumor came up either. I planted like 4 turmeric plants over here and nothing ever came up. So I don't know, they were probably bad turmeric root. Oh, whatever, man. My another sad note. My willow plant ended up not making it as well. So yeah, that's a big, huge friggin' bummer. No willow plant for this homestead. I mean, willow tree, not plant. My willow tree did not make it. It's totally friggin' dead. So I'm just gonna remove this cage right here because it doesn't matter. Because this tree is adiosed. And it's totally dead. There's no life in that tree, so I'm gonna just take this cage out of here and go use it for something else. And we actually got maybe about 20 cherries on that tree, and that's about it. But the only fruit producer in this yard, which seems to produce every single year, is the apple tree. We'll take a look-see at the apples over here. They're doing great. I actually sprayed this tree too with that stuff I just showed you in the greenhouse. But yeah, so the apples are doing good. The freaking birds like to come up here and stay perched on the bottom of this apple tree branch, but we got some good apples growing in there. It's been sprayed for, you know, the insects that might be fucking with my plant, my tree. But they're growing, they're doing good. Oh, FYI, these birds, they're not too shady anymore. I mean, they just come right up to me now, and they follow me around the yard. They wait for their food, you know. I mean, they just see how they stay perched over there. Let me zoom in over there. They're just sitting down. They just like to relax around the yard. I mean, I don't know what the hell kind of birds these are, but they just like laying around the yard. They do some scratching, you know, for insects and shit like that, but they just basically like staying like in congregated little areas and just chill out in the yard. My kind of bird. Any kind of bird or animal that likes to chill out is my kind of bird. Chill animals, right? Yep, so that's them. So they're pretty chill birds. They're alright. The Rhode Island Reds don't really hang out with them too much. They do their own thing. They go in their own little pack. They do their own thing. But these birds, I don't know, they just stick together. The Rhode Island Reds want nothing to do with them. So that's about it, folks. I mean, that's all I got for you. I mean, I can go on the porch and yeah, I'll just go up on the porch and show you the herb garden. That's how that's growing. Oh, by the way, here's my chives over here. I might as well show you the chives too. I gotta put this back in the greenhouse anyway, in this fence. But here's 2 other tomato plants right here. I mean, they're not doing the best, but they're still growing. But here's a chive and lemongrass. They're growing. That's lemongrass right over there in the corner. Over here, and the rest is all chive. They're doing really good, surprisingly. Okay, so that's about it, folks. I don't think I'm gonna go on the porch right now because I don't know. Let's just go on the porch. See what's good on the porch, right? Well, I can't go on the porch right now because it's starting to rain. So we'll just do that another time. But let's do a quick recap, shall we? Alright, so all the plants inside the greenhouse got a nice haircut. They all got pruned, they all got propped up, they all got stabilized, and they all got the nice airflow going on throughout. And now we can keep it maintained and make sure it stays that way. I mean, they desperately needed some care that they got today was desperately needed for them. So I'm glad I was able to get it all done and use every single stake that I had purchased yesterday. Every single one. You see that little thing right there? That little spider? Bye. See you later. Things like that just cause an infestation going on, and no thank you. Adios. Alright, so that's it, folks. That's all I got for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was somewhat useful and helpful. I mean, you can see how tomato plants should look when they're all organized and, you know, individualized like they are right there. Tomato plants grow rapidly once they start going, and you really do have to keep a good maintenance going on with them, or they're gonna just be so overgrown and so unmanageable that you just don't even want to do it. So that's it. That's what I got, and I hope it was a good video for you. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't already subscribe to the channel, be sure to do so now. And I don't know if I got it yet, but if there is a little bell icon, you can go ahead and click that icon so you get notified whenever I upload something new. So peace out. Hope you enjoyed what you saw, and we'll see you next time. Adios.